I'd like to start this video out with a little bit of a disclaimer here. I'm a big fan of Tua Tagavailoa. I'm a big fan of him as a quarterback. I'm a big fan of watching him play. I like the way he plays the game. I find him very enjoyable to watch. From a selfish standpoint, I would love to watch him play for years and years and years to come. He's part of that new generation of quarterbacks, along with obviously Patrick Mahomes. But you also look at C.J. Stroud, a lot of the other really good young quarterbacks that are coming along, and I want to see him play for a long time. He was playing Josh Allen last night. I would love to see him and Josh Allen play twice a year for a long, long time, selfishly. Um, However, last night Tua had yet another head injury, concussion that resulted in a pretty scary posturing pose. This happened to him about 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago in the 2022 season. He had a concussion on the field, which resulted in him getting knocked out and neurologically assuming a what's called a posture pose, where basically like he did like this, and it really looked bad. And then last night he got knocked to the ground, ironically by Damar Hamlin, who suffered a cardiac arrest after a hit on a Thursday night football game. I know he feels bad. He's been through it. He said he's had to see a psychiatrist for trauma counseling, which is perfectly understandable. The fact that he's still playing is amazing, and as much as I'm praying for Tua and for him to have a good recovery so he can live a good life, I'm also praying for Damar. He's been through a lot. For him to be a part of yet another very scary incident, I really, really hope that he's going to be okay, and that's not going to jar back too many memories. But Tua kind of dove into Damar as Damar was diving or jumping towards him to tackle him. It's one of those football plays, but his head hit and kind of got twisted, and he fell to the ground, and he kind of extended his arm out for a little bit with also that posturing again. Very, very difficult to watch. Now, as far as the posturing and whether that is a sign that his concussions are worse because of that, from my understanding, is no. Or maybe yes. It depends on which video you watch. I watched a lot of videos on YouTube talking about it, and it does not necessarily, according to some people, it doesn't necessarily mean that his concussions are worse. But it is a sign that he's definitely receiving a lot of head injuries, and as we have seen, head injuries are a real thing in football. They hurt a lot of people and really, really diminish their quality of life from there on forward. Jim McMahon was always one of my favorite quarterbacks. I know he's suffering through it a lot. I liked him because he played every game, every play at top intensity. Basically, did every play like he was running headfirst into a brick wall. It was fun to watch. Selfishly, I loved watching it, but now he's paying the price, and I feel bad about it. And I'm afraid that's where we might be heading with Tua Tagavailoa. Like I said, I like Tua a lot. I love his game. I've heard nothing but good things about him as a person, which is in today's sports world is something to be said. And I also want to say that I'm not here trying to act like I'm an expert. And from man to man, I'm not trying to tell him how to live his life. He's put a lot of effort and time into football, and should he choose to continue playing football, I will still watch, and I will definitely respect that decision for sure. I'm not going to have any animosity towards him whatsoever, even as even as there will be a fear in the back of my mind that I'm watching him hurt himself even further, as will Loki here. And Loki will now explain my point from here on out. Take it from here, Loki. Just kidding, get out of here. I love you, Loki. I just don't want to see that happen to Tua. I want to see him live a good life. I want to see him live a good, healthy rest of his life. He's still very, very young. I believe I saw he was born in 1998, which would make him, 26? I'd hate to see him lose his quality of life at such a young age and have to undergo just the rest of his life not doing well. If he's able to get out of this okay and still have a decent quality of life, I really, really hope that he would take this opportunity to just go ahead and retire. Whatever the financial hit is, just take it. Life's not worth money, that kind of money. I'm sure he's got plenty of money, but still, it's not worth it. I hope Miami would do the right thing and at least pay part of his whatever he's guaranteed. They probably won't. It's a very, very brutal corporate structure they have there. But that's not to be worried about. You only get one shot at life, and no amount of money in the world is worth it. Um, Tua's a great dude, and I just want to see him do well. I don't want to have to watch him and also worry about, am I going to watch him take the next hit that's going to really, really derail his life? Which, for all we know, has already happened, and for all we know, would have happened one way or another. But I just hate it for him. And you could see Josh Allen's interview last night. He felt bad. He was there, obviously, when his teammate Damar Hamlin had his cardiac arrest from taking the shot directly to his heart. It's got to be tough for him, and I hope this isn't bothering him too much. I mean, my prayers go to everybody involved in that situation, but if it were me, all I can say is if I was Tua, or if I was advising Tua, if Tua came to me and said, hey, what do you think? What do you think I should do? I'd say, hang it up, bud. So I'd say I love watching you play. I'd love to watch you play for a long, long time. It's just not worth it. Just not worth it seeing how some of these older guys, like I said, Jim McMahon is just one of many examples that are just not having a very good life after taking many, many hits to the head. And I just don't want to see that for Tua. The neurological system is one that doesn't really heal, or it heals in a way that we don't really understand. If this were a case where Tua kept, breaking the same bone over and over again, or kept hurting the same ligament over and over again, I'd say, yeah, go back to rehab, rehab it up, and get back out there. Go for it. This is different, though. I really feel like this is going to change a lot for him. I just don't want to see it get worse. He's a good guy, a lot better than some of the people on his team, and it's just I just don't want to see him. I don't see him end up like Jim McMahon. I don't want to see him end up like a lot of these people, especially when something that could that you can see the signs very obviously. Again, my understanding of these posturing situations with him are that that's just a sign that could happen to anybody who has a concussion, and for whatever reason, his body is prone to that. And we've seen it twice now in a little less than 2 years. Once in the 2022 season, and now in the second week of the 2024 season. I think he could have a big impact. I think the NFL is better with him than without him, but again, that's a corporation, and Tua is a human being. I feel like he needs to worry about himself, and if he's worried, from what I'm seeing from an outsider's perspective, obviously I'm not there. I'm not with him personally. I'm not inside his mind. If he absolutely has to keep trying, he's put a lot of work into being a football player. If he absolutely cannot live with himself for not trying to continue forward, I understand that, and I respect that, and I'll support that, and I'll continue to watch him just because I enjoy watching him. And I'm a fan of him personally and professionally. But I got to say, if push came to shove right now and they said, okay, you have to make the decision for Tua, I'd say pack it up. Go live your good life. You're a good guy. You have a wonderful family life ahead of you, whether you've already started that or not. I honestly don't know his personal life or much about it, other than he's from the Hawaiian Islands, Polynesian, and very, very close with his family. I know they're hurting for him just as much as he's hurting, probably if not more, and I'm praying for them as well. All of his friends, family, teammates, fans. Praying for Damar Hamlin, all of his family, friends, teammates, everybody that had to be a part of the Damar Hamlin situation a few years ago. I tell you, football's a brutal sport. I like it. I've watched football, as much as I can for as long as I can remember. It's tough to watch. It really is, and I just hope that he will. I just hope that he's going to be okay. Obviously, perfect scenario. He never gets hurt again. There's nothing going on that's going to cause him to have any issues in the long term at all, and he's able to have another 10 years where he has amazing performances, maybe even wins a Super Bowl, and just dazzles us with a lot of really fun play like he's done so far. I just don't know if that's feasible or not. But so, in my opinion, I would retire if I was him. Now, it's easy for me to say because I've never, never had any athletic talent in anything, and I've made it to 40 now with never having done anything of note athletically or really anything, to be honest with you. Um, so I hate it for him, and I'm praying for him. And he has a very good head on his shoulders. I think he's gonna make the right decision for him. I just don't want to see him uh, jeopardize the rest of his life. He's very young. He has a lot of wonderful life ahead of him. I know when you're 26, it feels like you're there. You're old. You're an adult. I was there 14 years ago, and there's a lot more to go. A lot more development as a person that happens throughout your late 20s and all throughout your 30s, and there's still a lot more to go after that. Even for me, at my age. Um, so, like I said, I'm just praying for him, praying for first and foremost a recovery. That I pray that he's not already past the point of no return to where he can have a good life. And I'm also praying for him to make the right decision. I would love to see him play more. I like Tua. I want to see him do well, but I also don't want to see him have that kind of life afterwards. So prayers for him, prayers for his family, prayers to God that He will help guide Tua in the right direction, and that the correct decision will be made, whatever that may be. Like I said, to me, in my opinion, it looks like retirement and just giving it up and never taking another hit in a football field is the answer, but I could be wrong. So, like I said, prayers. It's tough to watch. It's tough to see. Makes you wonder if watching football is worth it at all. Well, it's easy to say as a Panthers fan, but I just hope for Tua that he's going to be okay, and just want him to know that a lot of us are praying for him and support him, and we just want you to do good, have a good life, and I believe a lot of people would echo that sentiment. So, thank you for watching, and see you soon.